Yeah, there's a lot of potential for shenanigans between these two, mainly because of the stickiness of Charlotta when she gets in. The demon flip is, you know, everybody writes about it.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Zero was just on stream just a minute ago. And then same thing for Yuel when she gets into that stance and just, you know.
But also the getaway ability of
True,
Yuel.
2 and 4 H.
The character that has probably the most reversals in the game in terms of, you know, invul to semi-invul and things you can mash. So we're going to get underway here. Backing off immediately for Buc-ee's man. Probably one of the most conservative round starts I've ever seen for a Yuel player. Maybe looking for a whip punish on the 5M.
Yeah, usually you see the run-up 6-6M just to get that knockdown as soon as possible. But here we go. Already getting a chance to go into stance. Not going to get much off of it.
But big 6-6H. Taking a risk off the bat and going to get rewarded for it. Already 100 meter, 2 on the side of Buc-ee's man. Normally, I'm against spending a super this early in the round. But when you have such a... Oh, no! The 2H!
Especially if it's going to whip like that. That's so unfortunate. Now you're devoid of no meter. No penalty or a big penalty, and not going to be able to get any health off of Charlotta. And now she has you in the corner, and this is where she can go crazy offensively.
Anti-air. Normals, you know, Charlotta, one of the characters who's not really known for using normals to anti-air because her 5H, her 2H, kind of slow, but not able to capitalize a lot. So here we go, another chance. And again, 100 meters on deck, but Buc-ee's man with another unfortunate drop.
Oh my God.
It doesn't finish the plate.
Oh, man, yeah, Buc-ee's man's going to have to settle down a little bit. There are a lot of opportunities to close out that round, but just couldn't quite find the conversions. Are getting the touches, though, so they're not out of it, but right now they are out of an advantageous position because here comes Charlotta.
Blood. Yeah, 6 Dettmar is like, you didn't, you know, you should have killed me when you had a chance.
Aim for the head.
And this time the meaty 6-6H. This should be the round if we just finish the B&B, but yeah, that is actually surprisingly kind of a hard 5M link there. I don't really ever like to give Charlotta players credit for anything, but if you try this character for the first time, her combos are actually a bit harder than you'd think.
Yeah, because I think that combo in particular is, I think, either a 1 or 2 frame link if you're going to go into that far M.
Yeah.
So very astute observation there in the difficulty of that combo, but all things are looking easy, all things looking up for Charlotta, except for the fact that now you're in the corner, but we're fighting back out with the Honda ball, with a blockable, pardon me.
All right, letting the reversal rip. Speaking of letting the reversal whip, wake up super, and it works. So we're going to be down. This is an SSBA. That took 2 crystals. 6 Dettmar, going to be on 1 crystal, has a boatload of meter to work with, though, and not a lot of health on Buc-ee's man's side.
Ooh, trying to challenge the heavy
the
follow-up.
6-6H is unsafe, though. Oh, that's big. Gets the link. Are we going to finish it this time? Buc-ee's man finishing the plate. We're even on rounds.
Yeah, definitely keep it simple this time around. Just go into the Raging Strike. Don't do anything too fancy. The conversions have been a little hard. Just do what's stable. And nice air-to-air to start things off, but back row city for Charlotta.
Yeah, the JL's a weird button. Most JLs in this game are active all the way until landing, and hers has a lot more horizontal range than a lot of them. All right, Buc-ee's man bringing it back. Looks like he calmed down a bit. However, did spend 2 crystals already with no super available to restore one. And ooh, missed punish there. Taking advantage with the ulti.
Oh, man, the 6-6Hs have been so good, but the conversions not quite the same level. Could have punished that 5U as well. That Perry was looking very scary, but able to punish the DP this time around. The Holy Ladder will get you sent down to hell, and that's another game against Yuel. That's hell for anybody.
Yeah, this is the epitome of a pools match. Both players nervous, both players dropping, both players DPing. This is what we like to see early in the morning.
And you love to see this starter right here getting the punish on the heavy Holy Ladder. Almost at 50 meter, now has it, so ult skills on deck, but all they need is that buff 6 or buff 2M after that 6-6L, going to be able to convert fully, but only 1 BP left, so things could get bad if they get put on the defensive edge.
Yeah, no stance change into a meaty there at the end of that TP. Again, going for the meaty 6-6H, trying to find the risky kill shot, and again, are we going to pick this up? Yes, this should be the round. Easy combo, I like it. Great choice by 6 Dettmar here.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, the lack of BP at that point, they spent it all offensively, but as soon as Charlotta got it, that's how they got that extra bit of damage, 50% extra on that combo to enable them to finish out that round. So Buc-ee's man going to have to figure out how to be a little bit more resource aware, but got to be aware of your back against the wall of your Charlotta. That's why we're fighting out.
Tried to BC there, but no block stun. Caught the Raging Strike. Buc-ee's man kind of lucky that didn't get far enough into the Raging Strike to get charged to Crystal. Pick up, yes. Stabilizes with Raging Strike. Okay, learned our lesson with the 2H. Did it a little bit later, delayed the follow-up a little bit more, can only in the SBA this time.
Guess for your life.
I like that. Just back off. That's honestly kind of fine. Get some meter out of Charlotta, a little bit less. Still has enough to kill here if
Oh, yeah, this is Granblue Fantasy versus Rising, baby. Sometimes, and it can happen to you, you just get hit by a Raging Strike anti-air.
Sometimes it's a surprisingly good anti-air.
Might be the best in the game.
Also, the damage scaling on it is almost nothing when it hits like that. Very low crystals for both players. Not going to have a lot of options to defend out. 6, Dettmar going to catch the ult ball. Going to be moving on the winner's side.
Yeah, shouts out to them being able to get through all the scramble, get through all the nerves, and get enough situations in their favor to take it over Buc-ee's man. I do feel for Buc-ee's man because they definitely did get a lot of the touches that they needed, but just couldn't quite capitalize on them, especially at the end of that last round. Had him in the corner, post-SBA, had the stance, but elected to back off and sort of just, like you said, make Charlotta make a difficult decision to spend meter to get out, but unfortunately couldn't really reverse things after that.
I think the big thing that happened there, and this is one of the things that really sets Granblue apart from other games, it is the recast timers. What happened at the end of that first round where Buc-ee's man came up to a really good start, twice had a big hit, tried to 2-3-6, did not have the timer available for the normal combo starter for Yuel, and that's something that you really got to pay attention to that you don't have to in other games. The challenging part of this game generally, it's not really hard combos, it's not really hard execution. What is hard in this game is situational awareness. Keeping track of what timers do I have, what timers do they have, what meter do I have, what crystals do I have, same thing for them. Do they have a character-specific resource, another bar that you got to pay attention to, a dragon meter, stocks, things like that. This game is quizzing you on what the current situation is nonstop.
Season 2 especially, they've really tried to break the mold with a lot of characters. We started with Galleon, who's an who's a very unconventional grappler. Like we started with Sandy, he ended up being grappler zoner basically, and also had Willness, who's the Azrael function in this game. But we've got, of course, John Granblue himself coming up on the part of Luna-Gabs on the right, and on the other side, Call Me Collin with the Ferry. So a little bit of zoner versus Shoto action here to get us going.
Definitely considered one of the strongest characters in this version. Of course, Kasuosagi winning Evo Japan. However, I will say that this is a terrifying matchup. If you're up against a Gran who knows how to fight Ferry, this is, at times, an oopsie game. It's a volatile game with a lot of damage. Gran is a character pretty high in the oopsie stat. This character will deceptively smoke you if you're not respecting his turns. Call Me Collin, though, has a first step.
All right, being a little bit respectful, noting that even though she doesn't have a meterless DP, she has access to the ult DP. Meeting them in the air, good air-to-air, no pickup after that.
Unfortunate. Gonna get the hard knockdown here. Guess for game. Kind of wants to the dash light, but that sort of put him outside of the GG range, so it worked out. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, Call Me Collin taking what's presented, finishing it around with the 5H.
Looking for a brave counter there, nobody home, so didn't confirm block before using the resource. Now trying to go back into neutral, swing of the 5H even from that up close.
That honestly, that is kind of a spooky position to do 3-6L. Gran with the very fast 5M. It's not the furthest reaching normal, but it reaches far enough, like that right there. Luna-Gabs, maybe with a little bit of matchup unfamiliarity, that was super punishable.
Oh yeah, familiar with our friend Gigi, who was just waiting to help them extend the combo after that interaction. Looking for all these 5Hs adding up. Luna-Gabs cannot seem to find a way out, trying to fight back, but still getting sniped by the same heavy. Call Me Collin is calling for an advancement. 1-0 currently.
Yeah, Call Me Collin doing a good job not, overextending, not going too close. And yes, this is why, look at this. It's round start. We are 4 seconds in. You're in the corner.
Yeah, being able to place that boot is going to be huge, as well as finding a place to jump in. Ooh. Very long-reaching air normal right there to be able to conk Gran on the dome. Trying to roll out of there. Could have gotten a bigger punish.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, counter hit 2L. This isn't vanilla. 2L is no longer plus like that. That would have been a combo in the previous version of the game. Should be able to finish this with a little bit of basketball. Oh, no, unfortunate drop, but catches the sweep. Calm down a little bit. Call Me Collin able to still reel it back in, finish that round on match point right now.
Yep, calling upon the 2Us in the 5Hs so much. They're in their Fave 5 right now. They're really getting a lot out of those. And they're going to get a lot of damage after this 5H, but not enough meter.
Yeah, not enough meter. Didn't finish the auto combo, would have needed to in order to Raging Chain there.
Yeah, one of the things about Ferry is she doesn't necessarily get a ton of damage per her average interaction, but you just cannot give her big hits like that 5H could have potentially been. Looking for a 5H right there, got stuffed by Gran, but again, not doing anything with it.
Gets the real in. Are we going to take a side switch here? We're going to spend Raging Chain. All right, doesn't have a knockdown. No GG set up on the air reset, and this is scary. There is one crystal. Like, it seems like Collin is winning this match. Gonna get some meter here, but this is one Gran combo. Oh, okay, able to weather the storm. Yeah, that was literally, if that 5H or that 2H would have been canceled to heavy boot into just any B&B, that would have been a round over.
Yeah, that would have been curtain Collin, but Collin gonna be the one advancing 2-0 with the Ferry. And it was really funny because you kind of saw them really adopt more of that playstyle of just straight up Dawson, basically. Yeah. Just sit out there, just do the normal zoning. We didn't really see a ton of special cancels. It was just 5H, 5H, QU, 5H. And it was really just, did the Gran know what to do about it? And if they didn't know anything,
I think you should against Ferry, right? If you're a Ferry player, you should level 1 to check if they know how to fight Ferry first, because they need to, and then kind of adjust from there. Why go near a character who could potentially hit you for 1 billion damage if you don't really have a reason to be near them? If they're not counterplaying the 2-3-6 cancels, they're not, going for a lot of jumps, they're not going for a lot of random boots, stay on level 1. Don't go to level 2 till the other person kind of forces you to move off. So CallMe Collin gonna be moving on in winners. His air options a little spookier. Now that the dive doesn't give the same rewards, doesn't give the plus frames, you could put yourself in a scary situation by trying to just apply a strike throw mix or evade a strike throw mix against a character like Beatrix, who one of the best strike throw characters in the game.
Oh, yes.
The best command grab in the game for free.
10 frames.
Yeah.
10 frames.
Which is the exact, you want to know why it's a big deal? You would think someone like Ladiva with a 5-frame command grab, that's better, right? No. There, on Wake Up in this game, there are 9 frames of throw protection coming out of block stun. There's something like 5 to 7. You cannot just do a jab and then, immediately throw someone. Beatrix command grab is the exact amount of frames you need it to be to just never really have to worry about throw protection while also still beating a lot of the common defensive strategies in this game, like defensive delayed 2L, defensive brave counter.
Yep. So you definitely do have to gamble a lot, especially on a character like Uno who does have the access to the parry, but you cannot parry a throw, so got to be very careful if Danielsaz is going to use their command grab up against them. And honestly, it's going to come down to, can we outbalance the reward that Beatrix has versus what Anre can get?
And that is absolutely a big. Now, Anre does have some pretty cool mid-screen combos, but they do require a little bit more specific hits than a lot of characters, and sometimes he needs to burn Raging Chain a little bit more often than Beatrix would. Yeah, backing off. You can see that right there. Spend the heavy immediately. Instead of relying on like the L spear, the M spear, trying to outzone this character, spent the timer, gonna have a counter hit punish.
All right, big combo, already putting Beatrix in the corner. This is good right here.
Spends the parry on the combo.
Very simple, looking for some staggers right there, but gonna find our way out with our trusty M-Brass sword. Right back at you with the BC though.
Yeah, still applying the spirit, and kind of what we just said about Ferry, right? Start with your level 1, force them to prove they know how to work around it. That is the #1 rule of fighting games when you first get into them. If the opponent has not shown that they can stop what you are doing, do not stop doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lesson I learned the hard way. It's just trying to get to that next level when it doesn't necessarily demand it. And especially for a character like Anre, their archetype, Ferry.
Interesting Sage setup.
Run up M-Brass sword and we trade with the parry.
Both characters. That says a lot about the types of characters these are, is both players doing run-up, reversal, and neutral.
That is crazy right there. And there we go.
Yep, just we talked about it.
Nothing is forever.
Delta Clock is on the table now. Any heavy special going to be very dangerous for Curry to deal with. You see there, right there, the 2-2H tried to fish for it. That would have been probably a round end there.
And I get it because you wanted to try to low profile the spear and skip neutral and get a big hit. That probably would have won the round, but it's going to be Anre putting Uno on the win column. Aaron Curry taking the first game against Danielsaz.
Yeah, Daniel, little antsy there. Didn't respect the plus range. And this is a matchup you're not going to run into Uno anywhere nearly as often as you're going to run into Beatrix. Really easy to not be aware of when he is plus.
Yeah, that is a good note. Like, how when you were talking about the effectiveness of the layer 1 of Uno, as we get the big close heavy there from
Are we going to do the
Beatrix.
hard combo? I think we're going to keep it easy. Yeah, I actually like that decision. Again, similar to Charlotta, I never want to give credit to Beatrix players for anything. However, that corner B&B where you do the Raging Strike into the raw super, surprisingly hard.
Yeah. Going hard in the paint, though, was Beatrix in
Yeah,
that
the
first
walk-up
round.
5H.
Holy moly. Got them twice with
caught
it.
the toes with the 2-2H.
Right back at you. Crouching medium.
And again,
Gonna hit.
but we
the
talk
DP.
about the matchup of familiarity. Uno is no longer plus in that situation. Danielsaz was +2 in that situation and let the DP rip.
Yeah, just got to be aware. A character as rare as Uno, like you said, you do not run into this character in ranked that much, if at all. And really, you can take advantage of that with situations like this. So we'll see if Aaron Curry can maximize it here to even out the round count. Looking like they're doing a good job here. But Embrass Sword, once again, DP placements have been so good by them.
Patience here from Danielsaz. Waiting for the opportunity. Yeah, Brave counter away. But again, one crystal. Oh, that was so spooky.
Oh.
Great spacing by Aaron Curry here. If Curry was a little bit closer, that potentially was the round. One crystal on deck. Delta clock on deck. Full meter.
Big hit already into the corner.
It is set point here for Curry, but Danielsaz also has a round on the board, so they only need one hit here as well. Yeah, I like that actually. Spend it for control because Beatrix, let's be real, she has a native DP. She doesn't need that Brave counter on deck the way that a character like Uno might need Brave counter to get Beatrix off of them.
Oh, I like what they were going for, looking for that
Yeah.
same delay 5H that they were getting a lot out of in that first round, but this time not just or didn't have the timing right, so they just ran into the heavy parry. Bastion being armed right now, putting Beatrix into the corner. Looking for that far rim. Oh, that had to have been
Execution
fireball.
error, absolutely.
Oh.
That was definitely fireball, but you saw the little bit of walk forward before that 5M, and that came out as forward 236. That is something that universally in anime fighting games, 6236 in Arxis games always overrides as a DP input. Unfortunate, one of the situations where, you know, you kind of got to use the skill button in that situation or be a KOF player and know that you let your stick go back to neutral.
Yep. You also 2369
Yes,
as well.
yes,
so.
exactly. If you do the full half circle, that'll override as a fireball. Kind of deep cuts in terms of mechanic knowledges for, you know, Arxis-based developed games, though.
Main stage with Tradewar playing them and Sandalphon on the other side by Almighty King.
Yeah,
And I'm excited to
Sandalphon
see
is a character, you know, I think he is probably my favorite design of the characters that were new to Rising. I think that he can be played very simply and be very effective. You watch someone like Zippy play this character.
Yep.
He is just doing 6XL baby combos, keeping it, you know, keeping the footsies pretty honest. He can be a tech monster. He has some really rewarding, labbable combos in Earth mode, things like that. Also, he looks cool. He's hot, you know.
Likes coffee.
Yeah, he has stuff going for him. And we might see that actually a little bit. Both of these characters able to space 667 very safely. Very good dash attacks actually on both sides of these characters. Tradewar with the early corner. Almighty King trying to find his way out, and there's that dash light. As much as we say that it's a defining move in the game, even more so for this character, he has one of the best.
Yep, absolutely. Also has one of the best ways to control space against neutral, or just control neutral against Vira, especially with that water stance. That's why Almighty King already went into it early, because it just hogs up a lot of the screen, and Vira, without having any really counter-zoning tool, other than Lumi, has a tough time trying to claim space again. But here we go, getting right in, 214 H-ender.
Water stance definitely one of the things that saw some changes to see if we could see it more often. Because prior to the previous round of Sandalphon buffs, realistically, you were either base form or you were in fire stance, and you weren't really using the others a lot because they were either a little too dangerous or they just didn't have the utility of fire. Now that we see a bit of a rework, water we're seeing a bit more often. I do think in some matchups, especially characters who can struggle against very good fireballs like Vira, I think the wind stance actually has a surprising amount of utility despite the 20%, you know, damage modifier.
Yeah, but that's a dangerous game against someone like Vira who can get so much damage.
Yes.
You don't want to add 20% to that. And look, we already got into the round, just 11 seconds, and that's about a quarter of Sandalphon's life gone, and he was in light stance that whole time.
Yeah, and importantly, a lot of meter on the side here for Tradewar. If we can get a hit into the combo, we are going to see an install. Oh no, it's a little overzealous trying to keep the turn. I like the 2-3-6 here. Get some corner carry, a little bit of extra damage out of it, and into the fire stance as we were talking about. And this is the big deal, the soft knockdown on the fireballs. Able to control the neutral a little bit easier. Good timing on the DP.
Yeah, deny the Lumi Oki after that right there,
+3?
because that was a strike throw situation that you don't want to be in. Big PC right there, betting on the 2-2U. Not a real confirm right there.
Yeah, could have spent the Raging Chain and probably finished out the rounds here. Anyone's round right now. A lot of meter on the side of tradewar. Not quite into chip. Spends the last one on the Brave counter. We do see it right back. Not quite a checkmate situation, but yeah, good timing on the fireball. Super meaty on the light fireball. If tradewar would have rolled that, it would have been a pretty sketchy situation to avoid chip.
All right, looking for that 2-1-4-H. Really good burst option from Vira. -1 on block, so they were trying to make them a little bit scared there, and that's what you do. You get them to hold down back. You get the 30-frame command grab to get into your best self. Install now on tap for Vira.
Yeah, certainly something they focused on this version of Vira is making it easier for her to get into install, because as you said, like, that's the real character, right? I am a base form Vira believer. I think she can get the job done. However, install Vira is a character who could be, you know, up there with the high tiers in Rising. Good normalization there, using the Raging Strike just to even out the height. Finish it off. hughjay tradewar going to go up 1 game here.
Yep. Punishment Ray punishing you for trying to get out of the corner against install Vira. What are you doing trying to fight out against her? Smiling for the camera as well. Pretty good stuff right there. I do kind of like the spacing that tradewar or hughjay tradewar is trying not to play against Sandy. It's either I'm sitting outside of 5H range and I'm going to burst my way in, or I'm just going to be in your face. I'm not trying to play mid-range with you. Because Sandalphon has really good buttons in that range, especially with that far range.
Vira has very good buttons in context of like vanilla Granblue Fantasy versus characters. She still has good normals. However, Sandalphon is a very good 5M, a very good 5H, a great dash light that we've already talked about. Oh, this is going to hurt. This is not going to be the round. I think we might see the super get spent here. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, and we've seen hughjay tradewar go for that exact setup each time. Just been going for that 5L and the 5H frame trap.
This is such a scary situation, though. This is the type of situation I don't like. Okay, Almighty King flinch first. Should finish the round here. No, didn't quite get the punish. Still in commanding lead here for tradewar.
Oh, no!
No meter to really do anything about. Chip is still on deck. Yeah, just finds the throw. I'm really spooked out when I see a player cash out a super that won't kill early in that situation, especially when you're down to 2 BP already, because you create a situation where the other person has 2 crystals, they have 100 meter. If they land SSVA, you have no crystals, so you're taking hella damage from the SSVA, and you have no meter to run things back with.
All right, looking for that sweep into the Darkane, keeping them in the corner. And again, third command grab going to land.
And again, if it's working, why stop?
All right, looking for that 2M. Going to go into the fireball. Not going to get a lot out of it. Going to get a huge amount of damage off of this H-Cart Darkane conversion. Put them down to 1 BP. Don't know punishment Ray is going to be a lethal punishment. So Sandalphon, strike throw. Yeah. Either one will kill you now.
I'm surprised we didn't actually see an attempt at a Raging Strike off of that Oki, just because that would have been a checkmate situation with the 1 BP. But tradewar, keeping it calm, backs off just a little bit to the normals range, and able to close out that set. Quick 2-0 for him.
Yeah, I do like down the stretch that they adapted a more safe approach, because we definitely saw them really throw caution to the wind. And sometimes you kind of have to have that dynamic, especially as Vira. Sometimes you do have to take a little bit of risk against characters who are trying to space her out, trying to control the neutral. And they did that early enough to where it wouldn't be as punishing if they were going to get hit.
That's a great point. When we talked earlier about, you know, thinking about the overall situation of the match, if you're going to take a risk with a 5U, do it when they don't have 75 meter. You know, do it when you have DP available. Do it in a situation where it's going to be a relatively minimal payoff for them if it doesn't work out. And I think that tradewar did a really good job of like doing it when he had a commanding lead.
Yep.
Granted, a lot of the gameplay in the individual rounds, that was the situation. So we didn't see kind of like how he reacted when he was forced to take a risk.
Yep.
It is one of the few matchups where the light wall nerfs did not matter a lot. The spots where light wall were very good against Katalina, they still are. she has some very powerful block strings to make thrust safe, to make fireball plus. She's not allowed to use them in the mirror because Light Wall just auto punishes them. Also, some of the best 6-frame and 7-frame punishment normals for a character who is -6 and -7 on a whole lot of stuff. So, but it looks like we are going to see the Ladiva coming out.
Yeah, yep, a moot point altogether, but we are going to go see if the original matchup we were discussing is going to be something that Azmo is comfortable with, or if cakecraver is going to be just riding the favorable tides all the way through the set. So here we go. We're going to go to the Drool Resort Casino to give Ladiva a little bit of home, little bit of home cooking.
I always do it.
Yeah.
I want to see this character in this stage. This is a 6th stage, too. This is one of my favorite stages from the original game. Shoutouts to I forget the do you know the name of the NPC? The one male NPC? I always forget his name, but the ref.
Yeah, because I was unlocking all of the figures for Figure Studio so I could use them for thumbnails, and I remember seeing the ref had some, and he had a name. I'm like, he has a name?
Yeah.
We'll call him John Referee.
All right, so we kind of see, and I was going to mention this, is the big thing on the side of cakecraver is, are they going to go in against Ladiva? Because this is a character who you do not want to be near. You don't want to get oopsied by that 2U, give her a chance to get started. But very aggressive play here. Not fishing for giant starters, but very buttonsy here for cakecraver. Oh, that's going to be a punish.
All right, go into a throw here, put Ladiva up against the wall. Oh,
yep.
Did we jump before that? Nah, we just fell right into her loving arms, SBA. Up close, got to worry about that.
You can option select that on a safe jump, but you can't jump in, see that she did it, and then do anything about it.
Yeah.
You can option select the DP. There is a little bit of movement lockout, 4 frames on landing recovery for normal, so if you safe jump, you have to commit to the DP. But you can just input it late, and if they block, it doesn't come out.
Ah, interesting.
Same thing with Super. You can do the same thing as Super, which is a very good OS against it. We've seen this 6-6M come out a couple times from cakecraver. Kind of an unnecessarily dangerous move to be used against Ladiva. And Azmo with some corner control here. This is where it gets scary. Ladiva, not just a grappler, also a very competent striker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get caught holding up against them, they can really put a lot of damage on you with strikes that they have access to. Again, you still want to be wary of those throws, but just having the ability to do as much damage, if not more, with the strikes is very, very powerful for Ladiva if she gets advantage. Ooh. And we might get some here, gonna whip punish the far H with the SBA.
Oh, and that's gonna do it for the round, yeah. The heavy version. And Azmo, despite being on the back foot early in the round, in both of those rounds, as soon as he got resources, able to make stuff happen with SBA, and a little bit of giggling there on Azmo's end. And we've seen this. So this is what I'm talking about with the jump in RPS. cakecraver has shown this 2H as the only anti-air that they're showing in ranges where it doesn't work. We've not seen Azmo land and push a button yet. Yeah, 5M a little too slow to punish there. I think 2M should be able to get it. 2U definitely does. Big combo here.
Bam. All right, strike or throw, either will kill.
Oh,
and
too
both
early.
Both are potent.
Yes, this is going to punish. This is going to take 2 BP. I honestly think, though, if you are Azmo, you're chilling because this gets ult fireball off the table, and you still have a bunch of meter to work with. Corner carry is in your favor, but you can't combo off that because no meter available after spending the super.
Nah, and then running right into the ultimate reversal. Got changed in the patches that we were talking about recently. No longer going to be the same that it was. It now causes guard crush every single time. It's -4. So, you know, it's something that's got to play around.
Yeah, not a straight up unblockable.
Nope.
All right, frame trap catching. Gonna spend the ult fireball here. Light combo. Yeah, spending some timers. Could have done a little bit filler in that combo, which can be pretty important for Kat because she's not a character who cycles timers very well, having only 3 special moves. If you burn both EXs in the combo and you don't add a little bit of filler, you're going to be kind of out of timers when it's time to do your next combo.
Yep. Luckily, when you're having them in the combo, I was going to say, you have them in the corner, you can definitely just play a little bit more of that poking game. You don't necessarily need those special cancels at that moment, but if you want to cash out after the fact, that's when it becomes a problem. But didn't really have a lot that you had to chew through in terms of Ladiva's health bar. Oh, but we're getting a good fight out of Katalina here, getting that 6-6L counter hit, going into the JRS.
checking it again. These frame traps in a 5M working out. Again, pretty minus there. Not going to get the punish. And got clipped. Maybe trying to jump there on the lariat. One of the better starters for Ladiva. Do you knock down? Yeah, went for the command grab. Trying to finish things here.
Ooh, a little crazy there. The far M going to beat out the 2M of Ladiva. 2M a very good button that they do have access to at that mid-range. And they had access to a lot more if they want to go for the ult lariat, but going to go for the headbutt instead. And then end things with the Jewel Resort Screwdriver in the Jewel Resort Casino. And the gem of a lady that is Ladiva going to take it 2-0.
I'm, you know, it's pools. I'm not going to blow anyone up evoking Neo Karsh's Law. Neo Karsh's Law, however, states that if you lose in a tournament on stream in Cat Ladiva, you have to retire from Cat.
Oh,
that's the law from the GOAT, the original GOAT of Katalina. So coming up next, we are going to have friends of the stream, Lunchables, coming down from Milwaukee, effectively a Chicago local. Makes it to all of our locals. Came out to my house on Sunday for the grind session, up against KH Rocker, another Midwestern, coming out of Minnesota with 2B.
Okay, I like to see it. We've been, and funny thing about Percival versus 2B, we mentioned how Flame Carpet is such a powerful tool to make you decisions. 2B is sort of kind of the antithesis of that, because I feel like when you're cornered against 2B, unless your character has a very, very good burst option, it's kind of best to sort of wait out and see how they're spending that skill gauge and then make the decision on the interaction after that, rather than trying to challenge the special cancel itself like you would do with Percival, because 2B doesn't necessarily command a ton of damage for making you block, at least not relative to Percival. So we'll see if Lunchables opts to be patient when they are up against the corner. It's very annoying, so I understand trying to get out, like 2B just did right there the minute that they had access to their reversal 50-meter. We spend it.
And you can see the difference in run speed on 2B when she uses the 6U to command dash as opposed to her normal dash. She has the drive rush. She comes in with that scoop to the 2L, slides in the DMs. All right, this is what I'm talking about. We have the frame kills, and I like that. KH Rocker, you know, the first time you see a setup, that's my philosophy. If I do not recognize the setup, I'm going to make you prove it's real. I'm DPing. If I have no idea what you're frame killing into, I'm letting that DP rip.
I'm the other way. I'm just like, I got to block this. I don't know what's happening. Because if I DP here, I could die.
No, show me it's real. Show me it's real.
What's real is the plus frames after slamming it down after the Lord Strike right here, putting them in the corner, fighting back. We've seen each time after the special cancel, KH Rocker not blocking, immediately going towards that medium auto combo. So we will see if Lunchables plays around that, but got to play around the command grab once you're in the corner, especially if he has 100 meters. Or just going into the 9 stocks.
Yeah, this is why he did that. Let it drop at the 9 stocks so he could do the auto time frame kill into the 5U. And now, even if there was another, there could have been another 3,000 health on the side of KH Rocker. That still would have been dead. That is an incredibly damaging combo for not having a super in it.
That move is so funny when you have the 9 stocks. It's how fast the health bar goes down that does it for me. It's so funny. And it's not funny when he gets 3 command grabs, 4 command grabs in a row. Do the reset, please. Oh my gosh.
And what did we say? If it's working, don't stop doing it.
Don't stop doing it. Now you're holding up. Now you're holding up. You're thinking. That's what you get for thinking. Oh, baby. Command grab.
No, doesn't need to. Has the flame carpet. Oh, caught the clutch cloak out, but that's punishable,
but didn't cancel into the Raging Strike to punish the Severing Assault on a block. So now putting them in the corner. A little bit of your own medicine. How about some far edge corner pressure right there? No roll on the blue flash. That's what you want to do against a blue flash and neutral against 2B. Always roll forward because that will beat everything. Never dodge, because dodge will get murdered by the orbs.
But also, while that Lunchables is the person to show it if you know how he normally likes to play, just blocking also is a totally viable option.
Oh, 5H, big hit right there, but not going to get a lot off of it.
Something I've noticed, KH Rocker is being very stingy with skill gauge, not spending any of it mid-screen.
Yeah, normally you see like a wire or you see a laser, at least something right there. Not getting a lot of that here, just opting to play really, really conservatively with that resource. Meanwhile, that's giving Lunchables a lot of leniency to move around against 2B, a character that makes it hard to do so otherwise.
No crystals available for Lunchables. Does have to be careful. Any touch could be significantly damaged, but we're in the, I was about to say a DP would kill. Spend it. Show me the kill. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that because you're just like, I could win the set right here if this DP hits. I can win it right here.
But you gotta wait for the gap, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to send it in neutral like that. Wait for them to move forward.
All right, now being a little bit more liberal with the spending, gonna use a couple of beams right there. But right as you try to get the neutral against Percival, he has you in the corner where you have been so many times this set.
Yeah, offensive break counter there, trying to keep the corner positioning. This is currently a one-touch match. That's the touch. GG's.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, he's gonna make you think about it, isn't he?
Yeah, 2-2-U. Or
oh, he's gonna make you think. He's gonna make you think about it.
Yeah, he would not have gotten a full damage. He would have only gotten a half damage. 2-4-U, even with the 9 stocks, because the timer was down. So opted to just take the knockdown. Still finishes off the set. Lunchables moving on, and we are going straight back into some Percival action. I'm going to be really excited for the next set. We're going to have Kain coming up. One of my favorite players in Chicago. Someone who I think is just a very solid player. And, you know, there's this like branching arc of players who came from Smash. You know, specifically players who came from Smash into Granblue. You're either going to see like movement monster or coming at you monster.
We take what we can get, but definitely against somebody like Kain, very, very strong Percival player. Probably at this point right now, because we haven't seen tradewar really play Percival in a long time, one of the premier representatives of the character up against his fellow Dragon Knight and Lancelot on the part of Pasty. So we're going to see these two duke it out. I hope they go to the stage. I really hope they do, because that'd be really cool if they duked it out on the Fiend Jock. But regardless, with Lancelot, how do you feel like he should be approaching the neutral up against somebody like Percival? Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
bro,
like,
I am 42 years old. You want me to tell you how to approach the neutral against Percival? Don't get hit.
Alrighty, fair enough. As simple as, but we will see if we can make it simple winnings right here for Pasty. But right now, Kain locking in with the try to
now, you know what I said about Kain coming from Smash, specifically his movement on a character who, if you've never played Percival before, one of the things you need to know is this character handles like you're driving a dump truck.
Yeah.
And a lot of his movement comes from his moves, not from his actual normal movement tools. However, he has a very underrated backdash, and Kain is one of the best players I've fought who is good at creating the way he backdash right here, not putting out the carpet and standing by the carpet. He put out the carpet, backdash, and made it be between the two of them and said, come at me. And also, he's very good at using this bar 5L to keep the other person from approaching. And 5L and 2L, Percival has two of the best mashable far 5Ls and 2Ls in the game. And you can see kind of quick work, high damage character, low health character.
Yep. Yeah, in concert of what you're saying about don't get hit, very, very punishing if Lancelot gets touched.
And that's what I'm talking about, the backdash. You see that backdash really into the whiff punish on the Gorilla Blade? That Gorilla Blade was expertly spaced if Kain would have held still.
And funny enough, they did that interestingly with a backdash up against Turbulence. And again, just sitting at the perfect range to beat any option of advancement that Lancelot has to do. So they got to resort to the wall jump, trying to backdash, but you get put right back down to the ground. It's got to be a little bit more risky.
Yes.
SBA, unfortunately, just too slow.
Quick work in game one. And this is what I like as a commentator. I'm still relatively new to doing this. It helps when the player illustrates my points for me. You can see what Kain is doing with the backdash. You can see the guard button there. You see him wiggling on the... Whoa, and the JH, underrated button. You don't see Percival jump a lot without using that JU air stall. That JH, the big bonk, a lot of block stun on it, a lot of hit stun on it, and a good box.
Yep, and against Lancelot too, being able to backdash and sit at these ranges, it's so frustrating for Lance to do anything other than like maybe even make them block with ult Rekka because of how stubby a lot of his normals are. Like when you're really thinking about Lance, what does he have there? Like really far H, and that's kind of it. And Percy can play around that so well.
Rough timing for the ult fireball, trying to force a way in, and good jump by Kain, caught the bonk on the way down. Match point already.
Far H going to hit round start. Opted to put out that fireball, sort of baiting them into doing something in the air. We've already gotten them for that a couple of times. See if we can get it a third, but this time being a little bit more disciplined. Far H going to hit, just trading hits. And Kain still in a really good spot right here. So much health in his department.
Yep. Moves forward, dashing forward, opted not to walk. I do think that as Percival with, you know, the slow walk. Oh, yeah, that's going to do it. And he has the dodge to make sure he gets the optimal punish. Kain, I guess it's the fastest set that we've seen so far. And I'm not exaggerating. One of the best players in Chicago. You think about who's very strong coming out of Chicago. You think about Monarch. You think about Beepaw. You think about Callisto if you're a knower. Kain, absolutely up there. One of the best players we have to offer.
Yeah, I definitely know about the pedigree of Kain. I got to play a few casuals against him, and yeah, you are not lying. Very, very hard to kind of exist on screen against him because it just feels like he has just the right sense of where exactly to position himself with Percival. And like you were saying, the lurching movement, the dump truck movement, as I'm going to call it from now on because of you, it can be a little bit hard to use, even on a character like Siegfried. Like slower moving characters, it can be kind of hard to position yourselves. But if you have the ability to use everything at your disposal, namely that backdash, and then commanding the space in front of you with those far Ls, with those far Ms, RHs, all the stuff that you have to represent yourself while also moving away, just maneuvering yourself ever just so. It is so hard to win that phase against somebody like him. So hard.
It hits far. He presses 5M, he collects his combo.
Yep, people complain when Yuel got access to the 6-frame 2M. Belial has always had that. He's always had that. After every 6-6L, he would just, like, it was kind of his game. Like you were saying, it's not the best in the game, but the game after, he's very, very strong in it. And we're probably going to see a lot of that from Hubert here. And one of the things that I want to note about Belial, why he hasn't really fallen off despite getting kind of nerfed and sort of people jumping over him, is that he is just a true all-arounder. There's not a situation where I feel like you're extremely uncomfortable. Even when you're dealing with Metera with the zoning, I feel like because you have access, he has options that a lot of other characters don't have.
Parry.
Right.
Now, something that I will say, Belial, when we talk about the all-rounders and we think about characters like Katalina, like Sandy, like Jita, Belial's probably the hardest to play. His Fireball game has a lot of nuance to it on which versions to use when. His 5H, for as oppressive as how his Far 5H might use, try it out. It's surprisingly hard to space the way that the Belial players will do it. Some of his other tools, though, matter a little bit less in the Metera matchup. You can see there the ult. His backdash matters a little bit less, even though it's one of the best. Evelyn, right now, though, doing a good job zoning Hubert out. Hubert already down a crystal. But as we work down to this late round situation where everybody's running out of BP, that is going to favor Belial more than it does Metera.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of if you're going to be able to weather the storm up until then. And it is torrential downpour of arrows and butterflies right now. Evelyn just doing a really good job keeping Hubert at bay, even though he has all the resources.
Should be able to kill here. No, doesn't have the ult to finish. Oh, this is huge.
Oh, yeah, the ult on the part of Belial right
too
there.
High. Actually, that was you know, a little bit of an issue that came up with the changes to that move on hit, launching a little bit higher, and he just came in and pressed the button a little too early. This is a much better start for Hubert here. Has the corner already, running the stagger pressure, catches the dash light.
Yeah, especially when Metera doesn't have access to any reversal, shy of that 50-meter mark, so she cannot great fall her way out of this. Has to hold some of the stronger corner pressure that you will face in the game.
Yeah, are we going to see, so Hubert choosing not to try to brave counter his way back into the corner. Oh, that's a great move too. That's something that I think we talk about a lot of his normals, his 2L, his 5H, his 2M. Belial actually has one of the best sets of dash attacks. He has a plus on block, 6-6M, which is very rare. 6-6H is just one of the best lariat moves in the game. Advancing, always safe, a lot of pushback.
I always thought it was funny how his is always safe, but then Avatar Belial, his is unsafe, and he already hurts himself with all of his specials, so it's like, geez, man. Oh, man, but here we go. Far H going to hit. Big Osmodeus combo right here. Already putting
no bite on the shimmies. Good patience from Evelyn here.
Got punished for the great fall earlier, so opting to be a lot more disciplined now. Oh, tried to roll through, but the whole butterfly comes for us all.
But Evelynnlys was not ready with the hop to do the conversion there. Had to spend Raging Chain, putting her down to 1 crystal and also losing out on having another ult.
Artorias just keeping things really simple. You have the health lead, you got her at 1 BP. Just wait for them to make a mistake, and that's exactly what you do. Anti-air to close it out. Hubert doing a really good job after that first round was looking pretty scary.
Really good recognition there that because of the double movement, Evelyn had already spent the ability to do another J5U to hop out of that 2H, was committed to the jump, and at that point was not going to have an option.
Yep. Really good stuff. We'll see if Evelynnlys, if she has a little bit of counterplay, looking to be very pensive after it, going back to the character selection.
Is this the counterplay?
I think they do have a Belial. I'm pretty sure she has one.
Okay.
I may be thinking of somebody else, but I'm pretty sure she has one. But I think we're going to just keep it with the Metera. That's exactly what we're going to do. See if we have a little bit of a better strategy. I want to see more of how they were able to effectively keep them at bay in that round one.
The first round was
there.
looking great. And I do think some of that is they have been very forward. She's been spending her ult on ult arrows very consistently. But that, while that is a very good tool against this attempt to counter zone by Belial, it is dodgeable, and also it takes ult butterfly off the table.
Yep, that move is just too powerful to take off of the table. And like I said, I understand the strategy, but I feel like the tried and true in the blue butterfly is what you really want to be using here, especially when HUEBERT has shown that he'll take the damage from the ult arrow. It's fine. As long as we take that butterfly out of the equation, I get to just reset. And we're going to reset back to neutral with the Great Fall, spending the ult TP, this time successful.
Yeah, that was one of the safe ones. Kind of a weird change where it used to be that the non-heavy Asmodeus were the punishable ones and the heavy was safe. They kind of changed it around so that now the combo starter is the unsafe one, which makes sense. However, that means that he could just do 214L as much as he wants. And it's a very powerful tool, just buffering it out of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was like really scared when he did. I was like, oh, that was a lot of dead time in between there. So I was like, I would catch a backdash or something. But here we go. Already trying to back Belial into the corner. Far edge going to hit. Immediate canceled into the Raging Strike. Trying to get as much damage on the table and as much corner positioning as we can.
The ult. Good roll though. Kind of punished, but didn't have one of the timers he was looking for because the ult Asmodeus putting the regular one on cooldown.
All right, opting to just hop back after we got the life lead back in our favor once again. But we're going right back in the corner, just alternating in between zoning and jumping back.
Sometimes all you got to do is use your good move. If your character has something broken, we're in the patch era. Abuse it till they take it away.
Simple as sometimes.
Nice back throw for the positioning switch. That's pretty big.
That's very impressive, Oki right there. Going to keep it up once again, just spending all of our meter on pressure.
Good patience here from Evelynnlys. Weathering the storm, got both ults out. Ooh, wow. That was very important to finish that round right there because BC'd away the last crystal.
Yeah, that could have potentially been the end of your winner side life if HUEBERT was able to get out of there and get a touch on the Metera, because that would have been lethal. But here we go. We might be going to a game 3 if Evelynnlys can keep it up. I like the adaptations that they've been doing in terms of cycling in between both arrows and then just jumping right back in, making HUEBERT know that there's just different paces we're operating at.
That is not one of those DPs for sure. It doesn't matter whether that was a real safe jump. Metera DP is just not like that. Good patience, didn't fall for the shimmy. But yeah, if you see him not fall for the shimmy, it opens up the grab game. And there's that 6-frame 5N I'm talking about. That should do it. Easy peasy B&B. We're going to link the SBA. HUEBERT going to be moving on the winner's side.
Man, oh man, yeah, Evelynnlys saw the discipline working out defensively, but as soon as they put that throw right back into the thick of things, right back into the situation, it opened up a lot more of the offensive toolkit that HUEBERT has been trying to establish the whole time. And right at the end of it, 6-frame 2 or 5M, baby. That's how we cash out. That's how we win.
All right, so look at our next match. I'm actually excited for this one. One of my favorite players who we have not really seen in the overall larger Rising scene in a little bit, Artorias coming up. Says in our notes that they might be on the cat. I heard he might have come back for Ilsa, so we might see that character. I heard he has been showing up to the locals out on the East Coast, but definitely one of the players who I do think is a footsies monster in this game. After our set, after he beat me, one of the funniest interactions we had was he was like, I didn't know she could do half the stuff you did. I'm like, and my response was like, I didn't know I had no footsies. Like, damn.
Well, sometimes, hey, I'm a firm. We've seen people. Justin Wong won an Evo with 2 and 3 hit combos.
Yes, no. I think tech monsters are doomed to get filtered in tournament at the end of the day, right? It is very. You got to be like Zhao Hai, right? If you want to be both a tech monster and win a big major, I think at the end of the day, when you're going through a lot of players, and we have to talk about how much larger the player base for this game is than it was in vanilla, you have to play a lot of matches over a lot of hours, and keeping it simple is definitely a good option. And there it is. Just catches the jab. Going to do an easy B&B. Running up. Oh, yeah. A little bit harder in this, you know, as someone who recently came back, Artorias might not be clued in on how you have to do that in this version, is you actually run up and you do 2L, 5L, and you chain. You want to chain cancel 2L into 5L as quickly as possible. That will get you that close 5H link at ranges more reliably. Well, that's dead. That is dead.
Wow. Yeah, just automatically running up with the big old stab. And already putting Artorias on the back foot. We were counting him out because of a Lab Monster versus tournament player, but it's unfortunate for Artorias that maybe a little bit more time in the lab with his current version could have done him a little bit of good with a couple of those touches. A little unfamiliarity cost him.
You see there like minor, you know, oh, this is going to hurt, but again, that's not really the combo anymore. You, especially if you're double tapping that 5H, you can OS it so that on counter hit, you can do an easy confirm to the charge 214H. And Kat is in a position where she's still a very good character, but some hits you do need to maximize just to get everything you can out of it. But Artorias bringing it back in this rounding. This is kind of what we're seeing, right? He did just solid up. Had a big drop, didn't affect him too much. He didn't tilt. He just kind of sat there. He checked the dash light with the far 5L.
Yeah, sometimes the best way to win a game is just be the better player. And Artorias really good at going into that part of the playbook, just being like, hey, I will simply just be better. I'll trust myself to do the tournament safe combos and not necessarily falter and give up any damage or position.
Yes, this is a route I like. I don't know what he's, okay, he takes the medium DP ender. I like that route a lot. I've been using it a lot more because if you do the light DP ender, you can whip 5M and do another 5M and get a meaty plus on block close 5M. Artorias, pretty commanding lead right now. Fireball route will probably finish it. This should get the wall bounce off the 214H. Yes, Raging Strike? Yeah. There we go. Had to do a little bit, unfortunately a little far away, had to adjust, but again, Lunchables, just a little bit of impatience there. Tried to get up, pushing something non-involved, and Artorias going to finish it with the 5L, taking game one.
Yep, had to really shake off some of the rust. Oh, what a punish on that far H. Love that and with the 2M going into the heavy enchanted lands as well to finish it off.
Kat Percival has always been like that. She's always been able to do that.
Gutsy challenge right there on the wall of light with the 6XL. Just
Not
trying
anymore.
to shoulder check.
Yes,
fair enough.
Because of the nerfs to Light Wall. If Light Wall absorbs a 6XL, Kat's guaranteed to get punished. Just mash 5L after she utters. Oh, this time calling it out, went for that semi-meaty 214 you again. Artorias said, you're not going to do it to me twice. Caught him trying to jump out. This is not quite going to kill, but this is going to actually give him a big BP advantage, which is very important.
I'm curious, though, because it was already down to 2 BP. Are you more in favor of them just going from 2 BP to 3 BP?
No! Trying to call and he died for that. Stocks available for the full up 214U. Uncharacteristic aggression coming out of Artorias.
Oh, man, that is the most I am up a game you'll ever see, man. Just running up with the heavy DP, putting it all on the table right there, but nobody else is eating except for Percival.
Lunchables caught not respecting the plus frames. Still trying to scramble out.
All right, right back into the East Coast corner. We're trying to get out of there. BC
puts
you right back there. Flame Carpet.
Woo, okay. So what's going to be the gimmick? He's probably going to stock up into like full stocks with 2-2U, but he put himself down. Yeah, that didn't do anything really because he didn't have a lot of stocks, but the frame kill. The Tech Monsters popping off in the crowd. You can hear them. Do it for the Tech Monsters. Show these footsies enjoyers who's boss.
Oh, man. Put your positioning into a locker. I've got setups on setups on setups, brother. Here we go. We might be due for one soon if we can get some more resources while we have him in that West Coast corner. What a check there with that far out.
Artorias not afraid, though. Checking with the 5L on plus frames. Ooh! Reset. Wasn't expecting to hit, so wasn't looking to dial it out. No stocks available. Oh, he didn't believe.
Trying to fake him out with some air movement right there. We've seen the JH a lot from Lunchables. Checking him right there. Oh,
does he have to kill him? Yeah, okay, he might know the kill him combo. Does a little bit of an easier one, but he's still dead.
Yeah, I get it too, because there have been a lot of times where Artorias has structured the pressure to be that 5M, 5L, 2M into, you know, whatever, or double far L into 2M. So I don't disagree with the challenge there, but unfortunately Artorias picked the wrong time for Lunchables to be patient.
Yeah, you don't really get that at that height. You got to do like just full auto combo into DP there. Okay, going back to the other wall.
Ooh, check with that far L, got the counter hit,
Yeah,
so able to confirm there.
Spent one of them on the medium fireball just to kill some time. Oh, and he tried the dash light.
Ooh.
And there it is, the check. That should seal it. Artorias, yep, getting the 5H there. And a 2-1. Lunchables, a respectable showing. But Artorias, I mean, that's what we talk about. Someone who has good neutral and is tournament hardened.
Yeah, absolutely. Things were definitely getting very scary at the end there, or towards the end of that set, because Lunchables was showing a lot of grit there, and it was just going to start to put a lot of stuff into Artorias' mind if they were to be in a disadvantageous position in that corner. But Artorias doing a really good job just making sure to stabilize the game. If they were going to lose position, it was early, and then after that, not letting you have a chance.
And that 1 DP, I mean, when you look, that 1 DP is really what swung it in a 1st to 2. Sometimes you give up around with that bad DP and you don't really get a chance to come back from it. You want to talk about who's running 2.5? One of those people is Vasaraga. This is a character who is just straight up terrifying. One of the best ult moves in the game. You think about Metera, you think she's the best zoner? Let her do something against ult fireball out of Vasaraga.
Man, oh man.
You know, I think that BSG too, he does so much of the little stuff that you don't see a lot of players do. And one of the characters where it can really matter is Uno. And I'm talking about cheesing meter on multi-hit moves. Vasaraga needs so much meter. His ults define his playstyle so hard. And BSG is one of the players who is very good about using the tech where if you block something with a normal directional guard and then you change to the guard button on a multi-hit move, you can mash backwards and you get free instant blocks. And you get, granted it's not a lot, it's only 1 meter, but that's the difference between topping off an ult. You know, being at 47 meter versus 50 when you need it.
Yep. Yeah, all the, like you said, it's the little things, but those little things can add up in a big way, and we could get some big damage here early. Already going into an ult tackle conversion off of the Soul Forge armor. It's going to be up to Aaron to see if he knows how to break through it with Uno. Not really sure what exactly he's supposed to do to deter Vasaraga with all that armor going.
He does have the 214U, I mean the 214H, a lot of hits in a short amount of time. However, there's a little bit of startup to that. You might get hit before those hits start coming out. Yeah, that's probably going to do it. Yep. Nice, easy combo.
And what's so scary about BSG is that he can slow down in an instant to where you feel like you have to make something happen, especially if he has that health lead. And he's just so good at when the game pace slows down to a crawl, because it's almost like the inevitable is approaching, and you've got to figure out a way to stop it from coming down the tracks.
Oh yeah, doing the full charge 2H, the scary stuff. Ooh, that's a dead Uno. See you in game 2.
Man, didn't even need the super. That is so much damage that this character can do.
You honestly, this is one of the characters who's like so defined by their ults that you just don't see their super very often. Honestly, probably for the best. His supers are a little middling, so it's good for the character. And I like that in terms of game design of like, not every character needs to have the same thing be strong.
True.
You can see these charged 2Hs coming out and 2Hs as meaties trying to shut off that TK dive option, trying to just preempt it with a 2H. Oh no, there's a little bit of a gap there before the hit comes out. Oh, we're seeing some quick work here out of BSG.
Big scoops.
You know, Curry maybe thinking to himself like, hey, I'm still out of pools.
Yeah, you know, I still get the Chipotle card at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Of course, you do want to see if you can make something happen here, shake up the bracket a lot, ruin some people's bingo cards. We're trying to get a little bit done here. But right now, it's just all productivity for Vasaraga currently.
Oh, no.
Yeah, mistimed parry right there, and that's just free damage for BSG. Could have been worse, though. Could have been much worse.
Does he get a Soul Forge out of it? Okay, you know how BSG is feeling it right now?
Oh, yeah.
He intentionally took 2 knockdowns and didn't bother stocking up. He's like, I don't even need armor.
Yeah, we're just playing with our food right now.
There it is. Okay. Yeah, he just spent the one-timer that could have actually chewed through this armor. But the command grab whiffs because he got hit by the steppy.
Look at that dive kick. Ooh, far medium into the wall of plasma. Not quite enough yet.
Yeah,
but now you're at shit. Ooh.
Gotta watch out for anything out of stance. The stance sweep. Oh, mistimed the dodge. What does he have? He could do ult stomps. That would be chip.
Oh!
Okay. Curry's showing us something here. I'm not going out 4 rounds straight.
That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta keep fighting until the clock is at 0 or my health bar is at the same number. I'm still in this game. Kudos to Aaron Curry for fighting back right there, and that beautiful read on the BC. Alrighty, not quite going to be able to punish with the spot dodge. Oh my gosh, the conversion here. Already in the corner, picking up off of the wall bounce, holding up, fearing the command grab. This is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. Okay, does the fuzzy mash, looking for the BC, no bite this time. I like that. You don't need a counter hit, you just need to keep him in the corner. 1 crystal available for BSG. All right, doesn't really come into a matter. Ooh, that was a high pace. You know, Curry though, held his own.
Yeah,
after
for
that
sure.
First game, it definitely looking not just in the round that he won, but also in that last round.
Yeah, absolutely. But playing as Voss in any capacity is very, very nerve-wracking in an FT2 situation, and playing against somebody like BSG, who is very, very
someone who tuned me up on my own stream here last year at this event. You know, like I was kind of swerving on people in pools until I ran to BSG and he beat me up.
He'll do that to you. Looking to be a qualifier. Most recently won Texas Showdown, trying to secure a spot here at the 5-star event here. The first North American 5-star stop, I believe, in the World Tour.
Yes, second event in the Granblue, the GBVS World Tour. I believe there are 20 total events announced so far, but there may be more coming. And again, we don't really know the whole shape of this World Tour. It's one of the first times that Cygames is running their own event, right? This is not managed by another company. They're bringing it to the people themselves, and it's going to be a trip to Cygames Cup, which sometimes has a little bit of trouble with that, with 214H dropping on whiff punishes, things like that. However, her routing off of 214U mid-screen is significantly better. That was something this character had a lot of trouble with. She couldn't finish a combo, and by that I mean mid-screen. She could not do a mid-screen combo that reached combo limit. She just physically couldn't. She had to give up hits, and she had to give up damage just to do something that completed. Now with the 2-2M change, she could do, you know, the 5H into the 2-3-6H and then 2-2M across the screen to chase it down. And getting that corner, finishing that combo, lets her show where she shines. And what that is if Anila touches you in the corner, she gets a safe jump. She gets a safe jump off of every single touch, no matter if it's a hard knockdown, no matter if it's an air reset. And if you play a character who doesn't have a parry, you don't know how important that is until it happens.
We'll see if we get a little bit of that right here. Ending with the 5U because it was a little bit of a wonky hit right there. Looking for the 2-2U throw bait, nothing doing. That is still plus, so I agree spending the BC to get out of there. Redeemer trying to reset back to neutral, but that's a spot that Anila would like to be in against Lancelot especially.
All right, doesn't spend anything there. Actually, probably could have killed if he spent a 2-1-4U there.
Whoa, that was a wall jump read, but still able to fall down without getting punished. No anti-air on the part of Redeemer.
I didn't hear a noise, so I don't know if that was a whipped air grab or like a G-bag, like a little bit of a guard button in the air, but that was spooky.
Yeah, that was her multi-hitting JL up there. So
okay, yeah, I couldn't even really see. I just saw a wiggle.
Yeah, no, that move is hilarious. It was one of my favorite moves that I did when I was playing Anila to Masters. Very funny character.
Yeah, great combo ender. One of the things, as I mentioned, that always leads to the safe jump. All right, Redeemer, much better rounds here. Running the Lancelot game, catches the counter hit. Quick work on this round. We're at 1 apiece.
You know, the funny thing is, I think Redeemer sort of expected a little bit more patience coming out of the gate from McIntosh. But McIntosh, one of the more aggressive vanillas that you will fight.
Oh, no, he does not hold back. Also, this is something we'll see if Redeemer will catch on to. McIntosh is not scared to fish for the back throw incident. If you run at him, he will back throw.
Oh yeah, he is a wake up throw or a fuzzy throw. He will do not much of holding anything. Interestingly, doesn't really DP that much either.
Yeah, no, correct.
So here we go. Now it's you that has their back in the corner. Not going to be able to build the bar here. So we're going to end with the light fireball. But that's still oppressive, man.
That did kind of a lot for a throw. I didn't think that was going to finish. But Redeemer hanging on after a shaky first round there. Going to take game one.
Yeah, it's got to be – the emphasis for Redeemer has to be that they cannot be playing the matchup, their character. They have to play the player. Because early on, you can kind of see that the early strategy they went for is just like, all right, I have to figure out a way in because they're just going to sit back and throw sheep at me.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they really picked up the pace and just said, you know what, they're going to come to me, and if I get the first hit, it's whatever. But they'll come to me first, and then I'll be able to really make it count.
And you're right about playing the player because you never know what you're going to see with Anila because there's people who play her for different reasons. Some people want a Shoto-adjacent character. Some people have two big reasons why they're playing the character. Some just really like her from Granblue Fantasy.
Fair enough.
Makatosh, though, going to finish this round running the pressure is so different now. Now that 5U is such a more reliable tool, and if you get hit, it extends into a giant corner combo. There's the first DP I think we've seen out of Makatosh the entire set so far.
Early BC, right back at you, trying to get through that close heavy. Oh, good pickup as well. Going to use the 668 to ground bounce off.
That's a cool combo.
Yeah,
that is one of the routes that I think he has that is really sick. And we've seen this BC be, okay, that's how he wants to convert it. I was about to say, we're seeing these BC wars that Redeemer's willing to engage in. However, going down to 1 or 0 crystals on Lancelot, that's a dangerous game. This is one of the lowest health characters in the game.
It was very interesting right there. They opted to go for that medium fireball ender, but then didn't really do anything to sort of deal with that frame kill. They didn't go for a throw. They just sort of were expecting a wake-up option.
Yes.
Whoa, the ult Rekka coming down for you.
Great recognition. The ult Gorilla Blade there is a air unblockable, and it does give the side switch there too. All right, shout out to the K-Pow. We haven't seen that in a little while.
2H.
Yeah, a little finicky on the height. She was kind of low.
Ooh, getting counter hit by the Fluff'em Stuff'em.
Are we going to BC right back? Yep, there it is. Redeemer seems pretty consistent. And honestly, if I'm Makatosh and I'm seeing this habit of always BCing back, I'm doing the exact same thing because I'm trying to bleed these crystals.
Absolutely, because the reward is going to go in your favor regardless because of the nature of the Pixie Health character that Lancelot is. Looking for that ult Wrecker right there, but cannot seem to find it.
If he would have buffered 2 and 4U, that was dead.
Yep. That was going to be it, man. All of these hits are going to be really big, and Makatosh can fish for them.
Yes.
And you know they're looking for it, too, because how can you not?
It seems like Redeemer's winning. I was like, oh, this is, okay, good. Great use of Raging Strike to normalize that combo. It looked like he could have walked under for a moment after the wall bounce. As a cat player, I know that tragedy well. You know, heavy thrust accidentally sends them above your head, and they come out the wrong direction, and now you can't do your ender.
Yeah, Lancelot going to be able to take it. I was very curious to see how Redeemer would do with the Lancelot because it's a newer character for him after such a long time Luna performance.
Not a lot of Lancelot mains are staying with him. It is interesting to see someone change to Lancelot when you see so many Lancelot mains no longer believing in him.
Yeah.
So still though, we can kind of see why. He does still have some of the great pressure in the game. It's just he has that Pixie health, and this is such a volatile game already. It's so spooky to get caught with 14K, especially if you're fighting like Siegfried, who might hit you for 14K.
Yeah, like the game could just be over. A lot of the meta characters, honestly, could just really be punishing for Lancelot to play against because your average interaction is going to be in their favor versus yours. So that's a very tricky hill to climb if you don't feel like the character has enough to sort of compensate for that in terms of their offense, which is kind of why you also see Meg kind of falling off ever since her release because they're just like, she's a low health character, and yeah, she gets really good safe jumps off of a lot of her routes, but the games do go on longer than you kind of want them to.
The game, that's the thing, is safe jumps are great. They do not win you the round unless the other person DPs. I think they are very important when they're available, particularly because they let you kill time to refill your timers, and also they let you just build some free meter when they're forced to hold a block string afterwards.
True.
But you're not going to kill someone with a safe jump. So sometimes damage is the answer.
Cool.
So we're going to see Percival against Yuel. And Kain, for as great as a player as he is, he gets annoyed. And
listen. I'm sure there are some people in the chat who are very familiar with my position on Yuel. And we're on your stream.
Oh.
So we're on your stream, so I will be as PC as I possibly can.
No, you don't have to. What I have said about Yuel, from my cat Doc in vanilla, there is a categories of matchups of winning for cat, even for cat, losing for cat. There is one specific category of would-be unwinnable matchups, but thankfully everyone who picks them plays like an absolute goddamn gremlin, and that is Charlotta and Yuel.
Yeah, it's literally just every time I play against a Yuel in tournament or on rank, there's been a couple of exceptions. Shouts out to Makuna, shouts out to Disgaea. But there have been a lot of moments where I was just like, you could have won, but you chose to lose.
Yes.
You choose to lose.
Now, the one thing that Toriko uses that I'm wondering if we're going to see, and if it works, is it going to tilt Kain, is he looks for that sweep into 2-2-U.
Oh my god, yeah, that is absolutely infuriating. As is that 2-1-4 to get out of pressure. That's always been a great F.
That 6-frame 2M, it extends so much further than you think it does. And just in that sequence, we saw two combos.
No.
Oh, misjudged the combo limit. This is not going to hurt terribly. He has 4 stocks. It's going to be, like, what does he want to spend? He's going to get 9. Okay.
Looking for the side switch, trying to get a little bit cheeky there, but good defense right there. Preventing the plus frames. Looking for more plus frames off that 2-1-4 follow-up.
No conversion.
Yeah, you had
2M killed.
Tech on the throw after the Lord Strike, just hopping away from there. You do have the health lead, so you don't necessarily have to interact with him right now.
Anyone's round right now.
Looking for that ultimate Starry Sky. Oh no, conversion off the far light, and we DP out.
On the DP, yeah.
Wow, yeah, definitely just sensing that something had to be done right there. I mean, again, you had the health lead, but it felt like Kain was slowly encroaching on a spot where Chip was going to be threatened, especially because he was building resources back up.
And you saw those throws, and sometimes the point of the throw isn't to land the throw, it's to get the late tech off of the delay normal that everyone likes to do, because that's 500 Chip.
Yep. And you maintain advantage.
Yeah.
Hopping away from the Flamecracker once again. I do love that Toriko is being very selective on when to engage against Kain.
But that was not the right time to select.
Sometimes you just run into the normals he's throwing out there.
Oh, great check with the 5L. Wasn't ready for it. And there it is. That sweep he was looking for. He was looking for sweep into 2-2-U. Oh, no, but a bit of a drop, but recollects it. That has to be such an early dodge call out to actually punish a BC.
All right, here we go.
No crystal available. Might not need one. Yeah. He can't do the basketball, but he can do 2-1-4-U. No, he elects to actually. Oh, and I talk about
that
the
was
backdash.
Good, man.
Perfect spacing. Backdashes the low follow-up, and then catches the dash light to punish. Kain with immaculate spacing.
Yeah, even on a move as tricky as 2-1-4H, being able to snuff that out. And they predicted that it had to be the low follow-up, because if it was the other follow-up, it would have whiffed.
Yeah.
So that was really, really double layers of situational awareness right there from Kain, and fighting back right now, putting Yuel in the corner. Now she can't bound out of there because she has her back into the corner, so you're damaging.
The throw right there, running up for that throw. The throw tech pushed Yuel back into the flame to continue losing health. Big whip punish. That should be the round.
Yeah,
Kain closing out a pretty tightly contested game 1.
They saw that 2U one too many times, and it was just one other time. They knew that they were looking for that, especially when they were in that disadvantageous spot. So Percival and Kain doing a really good job of just hopping right on out of there, threatening to be at a space where the 2U would have hit, and then immediately backing out, getting the whiff punish with that big old far H, and taking the game because of it.
Oh, tried to interrupt the startup of the fireball. And Kain, again, he's just the best Percival Far 5L user I've ever seen.
It's a really good button. Honestly underrated in his toolkit, because you really see people write home more about that far H and the far M, honestly.
Also,
far L,
when he likes to use it is when he blocks a jump in from far away, he knows you have to dash in to close the distance.
All right, here we go. Double Firefox, the Mozilla Mambo right here. Gonna kick him up in the air. Far H Ender. Not gonna be able to go into stance after the fact,
converts
unfortunately.
off of that far 5L. Takes the side switch, looking for the DP with the backdash. Toriko's really gonna make something happen, and unfortunately not gonna get past the fireball. Set point for Kain here.
6 frames is good, but not going to save you at that space of that 2M, just meeting the chunk of flames that the Lord of Flames putting out there with the flame carpet. But now we're just running in guns ablaze, and 6XL going to find its mark counter hit, looking for that frame kill 2M. Not biting though, just going to be taking the throw here.
Cut the counter hit BC, just takes a side switch. Kain lost it. Actually, a pretty good amount of health in that interaction. He's going to need to make it up. Oh, but it wasn't a counter hit. That was actually pretty clutch to not press a button there by Toriko. What a reaction! Right back into the flame carpet. Yo, yeah, no, you can't get out of the corner, and that should seal it. A little bit of DOT left on there, but basketball combo should close it out, I think. Oh, no, he actually,
Yeah, betting it on the old DP right there. That's going to be Kain taking it 2-0. And honestly, I love that little ending sequence there of just a lot of scrambles happening while they were in the corner.
And disengage.
Yep, just disengage. And the whole time, he was just like, you're scrambling to get on out of here, and I'm discouraging you time after time after time again. And then finally, they were just like, all right, I think I've taught them a lesson. Command grab right there. That's what you get for blocking.
First command grab we saw the entire set.
Yep.
First command grab we actually saw out of both Kain sets that have been on stream today. So we're going to have another match coming up. I'm actually really excited about this. A player I'm a big fan of, PP Man, coming up. One of the best Ferries in North America. I had the pleasure of running a really couple long sets against him. And Ferry, we talk about the low health on Lancelot. She's not exactly a healthy character either.
Nope.
She's someone who, he does not do as much damage now that they took away his 5H links in a lot of places that he had them. But against Ferry, he'll still hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the whole book against Ferry that most characters have to play against her is similar to Metera, except very much more true in this aspect is you just got to weather the storm. Don't give her free hits and just wait for your time, because the health bar will melt eventually. And that's for any character.
Habits. You know, like 236L, you cannot reaction roll it anymore, but it is still punishable on roll if you just watch, just down back for a couple sequences mid-screen and just kind of see where they like to cancel. Get some information before you approach. Shock, though, you know, big hill. PP Man's good. I'm not going to like downplay in any way. PP Man is very good at this character, so Shock's really going to have to show us something.
Already looking for the jump. Not going to get knocked back with the block stun quite into GG, so they still get a chance to run up and get the throw. Another throw right here. Looks like PP Man electing to take the throw, not going to give Lancelot any free damage. And right before the ult fireball can come out, BC to get out of there, because the ult fireball will make you take throws if you don't know how to deal with it otherwise.
I like PP Man's decision there. Gave up any form of OP or pressure to just get out of the corner. Unfortunately, though, we talk about having to choose the correct anti-air as Ferry. 214M is a pretty good anti-air, actually, but not at the space that he tried it.
And against someone like Lancelot, too, in that corner position as well, it can be kind of hard to sort of predict the air, the arc that he's getting at.
I think he can kill here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Getting the ult fireball extension, take them all the way. No, don't even need it. Good stuff right there. Shock Jock. We're talking about how much of a hill it would be to climb. Looking like they're making a good way up.
Some noticeable matchup knowledge, doing the empty jump against the light DP, you know, kind of calling out. And there you see that Gorilla Blade, able to close the gap, able to get in with plus frames. I actually really like what I'm seeing out of Shock so far.
Yep, also loving the avoidance of the heavy GG, knowing it's not like ult GG where it comes out that quickly. Just get out of the way. Woo! Don't engage with it when you don't have to. And doing a really good job of finding the spaces to run up and get that 6XL. So selective engagement, disengagement from Lance, using a variety of his tools. Not going to be Beastie on that, though, to keep her in the corner.
Forcing PP Man to spend some resources here. Side switch,
Alrighty, though. That is going to be some free damage awarded to Ferry.
This should finish it if the wall bounce happens. Yes. Nice route, actually, using the 6XM to extend there. Knew that because it would kill, he didn't have to worry about maintaining the corner.
Just needed the hit is all. All right. Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to opt more, because we haven't really seen a lot of we haven't necessarily seen a lot of the Tarzan, as I like to call it, up against him, which I guess I understand why that is, because, you know, it's really mainly to sort of as much as PP Man does it.
Oh, that's, not the answer to that move, unfortunately.
Yeah, just basically to keep them from anti-airing you if you're trying to jump in and just create a whole different layer of movement. So
unfortunate, the Rekka didn't combo. Would have had to spend the heavy or the ult there to get the corner. There's the punish. We talk about rolling that move. Again, though, unfortunately, the medium Rekka not comboing there.
Oh, What a dive kick over the fireball attempt. Once again, avoiding the ult fireball, sending out GG
Are we
with
gonna
the hard
spend?
knockdown.
No, he went for the ult. I was curious if he was just going to throw the super ball out to reclaim a BP.
Gets Spence to destroy the fireball. Not going to quite get the punish with the far L.
Chip becoming an... Oh, that's an awkward clash. This is getting scary for PP, man. Great, and we talk about that close 5M. That is not a button you can mess with anymore. It will win. It wins the way. People don't know actually how a lot of anti-airs win in this game. They don't win by having head invuln or by having super extended boxes. They are high priority, higher than jump-ins, which are normally low priority, and they just crush the move.
Here we go, though.
Good block on the side switch.
I want to see if Shock Jock has a different way to pressure or structure their pressure so they can get that old fireball off, because it seems either
it's gotten BC'd every time.
Every single time, because it's always been 5H immediate fireball. So I want to see if they can find a different avenue to get that debuff onto Ferry and PP, man.
Yeah,
and force
maybe
them
just
to play
do
the
it
game.
wrong.
Exactly.
Not able. Good presence of mind there by PP, man. Did not move forward until GG activated, so he did not give Shock Jock an opportunity to walk out of GG's effective range. Looking for the whip, but oh, okay, I like Shock Jock.
All right, pull him right closer to you. Not going to BC up against the 214H.
Plus frames, yes.
Oh man, it is scary here for Shock
And
Jock.
again,
Yeah.
PP Man, again, just one of the players who is the best at anti-airing on this character. You're not going to be able to sneak that in. I think that we should, keep seeing the approach. The Gorilla Blade to get plus frames is actually working out for Shock Jock. It's just the BC is there. He's not really doing anything to call out BC with a dodge cancel. Good match here, though. Going to get the side switch.
Disrespecting after the GG, just challenging the gap in between that and the next strike attempt from Ferry. Oh, missing out on the chance
PP
for
Man
good
also
stuff.
really likes looking for where you're going to buy back in with the dash and looking for that 2L.
Oh, man. Yeah,
wow.
going to get the punish there with
on
the
the
2M.
yeah.
Wow.
Nice backdash, just get out of the situation. Shock Jock starting to run out of health. One mix for the game, and that's the mix. That should do it. PP Man gonna be moving on out of pools and winners.
Yep, congratulations to PP Man making it to the next round. Shock Jock will also be making it through, but will be on a loser's life.
Yeah,
so,
but I do really like what I saw out of Shock Jock. I think the things that he was looking for in the Ferry matchup was looking for some of the correct things. Hopefully he continues on, does well in losers. I like what I saw out of both of the Lancelots that we saw for being a character that I think a lot of people aren't believing in this version. Redeemer and Shock Jock definitely showed us some stuff, so good stuff to them.
Yep.